Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
All day, dog. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming!
This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, Wilson. Over the middle, Jaron Brown's got it. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line. They are in a zone. Remember, folks, 4 interceptions for this defense a week ago. First drive, make it number 5.
And the focal point will be the people who pick the ball out of the air. But let's not forget, to make that happen, there has to be an excellent pass rush, terrific coverage where they are plastered to the receivers, and then, of course, taking it away, making the catch, and going in the other direction.
It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
Jared Cook is a guy who's been around the NFL. He's been with the Titans, the Rams, the Packers, and the last 2 years in Oakland. Now he makes a move to the Big Easy, where he pairs with Drew Brees and forms a nice little threat.
Ready, 95, 56. Here we go.
This is Alvin Kamara, who made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 NFL seasons. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Kamara. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. This Seattle defense, they haven't broken yet. Coming up here on a 3rd and goal situation. Shotgun now for Brees. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
Brees to throw for it on 4th. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Cassius Marsh, and the Seahawks able to come up with a goal line stand. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson, and able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. Give them 14 on that one and a 1st down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Here's Wilson to throw. He lets it fly from Lockett. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty,
Now Carson fumbles the football, and this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit.
And this will be caught at the 30. 36 yards on the play. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit him with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
Over. General West.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. He was locked in last week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 2.
Clear some space in the trophy room. He won it last week. He's thinking he's going to get a few more before this season is over, maybe even starting with this game.
Into the red zone, it's Breeze. Flush to his right. That is caught inside the 5. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here. This close, sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Seattle defense, they haven't broken yet. Coming up here on a 3rd and goal situation. Now Breeze, eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. They come out here in the eye. The Saints on 4th down last year, 13 of 16, second best in the league. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Drew Brees. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints have taken the early lead. Lutz with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And job 1 here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. He got 29 yards that time. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed. And they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The tight end, Ed Dixon, was the target. That'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Wilson. Going to throw again. It's caught right side. Dixon. And he gets it down to the 32. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. DK Metcalf with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. Myers connects on the PAT. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
The Saints take over first and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
A reminder coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night they were in New York. Now the Browns head to Los Angeles to take on the NFC champs, Browns and Rams. An 8:20 kickoff Eastern time, 5:20 in California. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Ready? Yellow lady. 12, 12, 12.
From the gun, it's Breeze. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
At the 46-yard line.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Breeze going to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Cook. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Well, he made that catch knowing full well that at the end of it, he's going to catch a pretty good lick.
I guess if there's anyone on this team that can absorb a pop, it's him. The 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Breeze to throw again. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them, or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
John Harbaugh going to roll the dice. They're going for it on 4th down. Breeze going to go on 4th down. He's got a man. It's Williams. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Again, it's Breeze. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. He's trying to parlay that great performance last week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 2, into a great performance in Week 3.
And the way he was able to do it last week, he started off doing it again this week. Energy, the way he comes off the line of scrimmage, attacks the defense, sets them back on their heels, and he finds openings as a result.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. For the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And Dixon has it. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
On second down, it's Carson, and he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Here's Wilson. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score.
Here we go. 0-0. Friday.
Throwing again on second down. Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And he'll get it out a couple. Yards shy of midfield at the 48. Wilson now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Now Wilson. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he's got this down to the 35. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson escaping the pressure right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Thrown to the sideline and incomplete. Sets up 4th down.
So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Myers able to knock it through. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. So they're able to make things level just before half and also leave very, very little time on the clock.
And I love the way that you phrased that. Brought a little soccer into it, and that's really apropos considering they just kicked a field goal to tie things up.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
0-2.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Working from the gun, it's Brees. To the right side and complete to Thomas. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
The throw over the middle taken in, and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Well, officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
And the Saints.
Ready. Yellow lady, yellow lady.
Brees on the draw, gives to Kamara. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Brees. He's going to air this thing out deep for Thomas. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints have moved out in front. And this is no good. It's a missed extra point. Boy, in a tight game, how important might that turn out to be here as the second half rolls along? Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
The Seahawks take over first down. Let's go. 25-yard line.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. Check, 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 check.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Wilson. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run it with Carson. And another tackle broken. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On 2nd down, it's Carson, and he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
For another Seahawks. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Line 90. Check. Check 3, check 3. Hey, alert. 6. 27 Mike, 27. One left. He's checked.
Here's Carson. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are now just an extra point away from moving out in front. And it's no good. He missed it. And the game remains tied. Oh, boy. So all square here in this 3rd quarter as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Brees now to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cook. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. From the gun on 3rd down, Brees. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Michael Kendricks coming in to drop him.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
What? 315. 6 right there. 56. 14. It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our house.
They'll begin the drive with Carson. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Demario Davis, who was the Saints' leading tackler in his first year in New Orleans, in on the stop.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Hatchet. Watch the screen. Watch the ship. Check. Alert.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 1st down, Carson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Gotta go, in and out. Let's go.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
At their own 36-yard line.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Sometimes with the running game, you've had it. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Here we go, D. Here I come again.
On 2nd and 9, Brees. And Cook has it, left side. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Back now in Seattle, Washington. These two teams all tied up 16 apiece as we start the fourth quarter. Breeze now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
From the 41, Breeze. This is complete to Michael Thomas. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
The Saints on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Shotgun now for Breeze. And Ginn's got it. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Breeze to another longtime vet, Ginn, for the New Orleans first. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Back to the ground. It's Kamara. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy. The marker, 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Tedrick Thompson on the tackle. 8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 24-yard line.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Now Breeze. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Tackle coming from the safety, Trey Flowers.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Here we go.
To throw is Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over.
Yeah.
I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
Hey, check 24. Check 24. Watch out.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. He'll get just... A yard on the scramble. It's second down.
A gain of a yard brings up second and